I'm John Marshall, and we're Suncoast NPI ITV, and we're coming at you now. Wow, welcome back everybody. John Marshall, Suncoast NPI, and we're Suncoast NPI TV coming at you live. And we're just I usually have a segment to start off with myself, but we're changing it up this week because we have so many people, so many NPI members that are clamoring to get on this thing that we're like, hey, less of John, more of members. So here we go, Shawn Stevens. We're going to just jump right into the hot fire here today. And again, just if you don't know, Suncoast NPI, we're locally owned, world-class, seat-specific business networking organization with a community look and feel. Blah, 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 right?
Say that faster?
Yeah, I can say it a lot faster. Seat-specific, that's you. American Printing Services, you own the category. You're a rock star at what you do. You have a servant's heart, and you're committed to the commitment to make these chapters thrive. So I'm delighted to have you sitting across from me today, Mr. Shawn Stevens.
Good to be here, John.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Got a haircut and everything for this, didn't you?
I did.
You're looking
I told her,
good.
make it tight, make it tight.
You're looking good, brother. So this is all about you. Let's have fun with this. So let's just jump right in. As far as, let's start with your company. Who's your company? Who's this company called American Printing Services?
American Printing Services, we literally print everything out there. If you can think it up, I've got a source for it. I've been doing this for 17 years. I started with a business forms company.
Okay.
And all we did was business forms. And I tried to break out of that a little bit once I took over the company because the printing industry is forever changing, especially with the new digital world coming up. I mean, You can literally print a car now. I don't do that. But
not yet, maybe?
Not yet. Yeah, I'm working on that. I need a bigger garage.
There you go.
Yeah. So I've got sources in every category, and I try to get the customer. I'm not all about the lowest price. I'm about getting the best product for my customer at the most affordable value for them.
Gotcha.
So I know some customers, they're willing to pay a little bit more money, so I know I can go to this vendor over here and get a much better quality product than someone who's just looking for a quick business card off, and they don't want to pay anything. So
yeah, I got it. That's great. So I appreciate sharing that. And you've actually done work for me. So, and I know some of your work, and it's awesome. It's great quality, great turnaround.
And once it gets through my hands, I try not to hand it off to you until I know you're going to be 100% satisfied.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, why don't we just go down this? Let's go down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Let's go in specifically. What are you actually offering to your customers? What can you bring to the table?
I try to make it more of a personal experience between me and the customer. There are customers I've never met. We've done just through the internet, just through email, or done a phone conversation. I've got customers in Hawaii. I had customers in Puerto Rico before the storm. Right. Kind of took them out. But I try to make it so that when we leave the table, know your printing in my hands is exactly in the right hands.
Gotcha.
So the customer service thing is there. And if you look at my reviews on Google and Yelp and all that, everybody's about, his customer service. And that's all good, as long as I have that product to back up that customer service
there you
go. So I offer my customers my ideas. I've been doing this 17 years, like I said.
17.
So I kind of know where the marketing industry is in some aspects, and I can walk them through some things that maybe they didn't think of. Sure. You asked me for, I just did a coaster for a bar, and they said, well, we're not really sure what we want. Well, now you're leaving it up to me, and my imagination is wild. So I gave them 11 different versions.
Oh, wow.
One of them was absolutely ridiculous, and I actually got a lot of feedback on that because I put it up on Facebook. But the one that they went with at the end was the most simplest version of everything. Wow. I had a lot of fun making these things.
I bet you did.
Yeah, man, take a couple hours to sit there and just create stuff. It's awesome. And then they went with that, with number 10, which was the most basic version, and they're going to like it. They order 30,000 coasters. I'm happy. You know, they're happy, and everybody walks away. And hopefully the guys drinking at the bar, maybe they'll order more food.
There you go. Sounds like a win-win-win.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see him. That's over at Johnny Brusco's, right?
It is. Yeah,
Shout out Johnny Brusco's. We love you guys over there. So is there anything else you want to talk about? What else you offer to the customers, though? I mean, I know I've seen some sweet hats. You hooked me up, and you've done some killer signs for me as well.
I do signage. I've got vendors in the signage business, like actual signs, like the ones that go on the marquees, and also the light box that go above the stores, that kind of stuff. I can do that. I do shirts and hats, of course. The apparel thing, that's really blowing up. Event season is here, so I'm doing those event tents. We can print the whole tent, not just that little spot on the front, but we can literally print the valance and the canopy itself, all four posts.
That's cool.
That's huge. And then, of course, you've got your business forms. I do continuous forms, snap-out forms, NCR sets. We still use carbon paper. There's still customers who want that carbon paper. As much as I try to push them away from it because it's costly now, we still, it's a 5-part form, and the last 2 have carbon interleaves in there. I can do it.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I want to talk further about that 4-poster. That thing, I mean, the big old canopy.
That 4, and the feather flags, all that stuff.
Awesome,
it's really pretty.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, and for everybody to hear. And your contact information is flowing. So if people have some needs, lean in and give them a call. And I've used them before, and I'm delighted. So 17 years. 17 years you've been doing this, right? So I think that's one thing. I want to ask this because you're not the only printer in town. So how do you stand out? How do you stand out from your competitors?
A lot of printers they're niche oriented. They get into a niche and they say, I can do these business forms and that's it, or I can do some marketing materials and that's it. They're not full range. Like they won't go into apparel. They won't go into promotional products. They won't go because that's just not where they're at. So they focus on this one little thing, and I say, look, I want to be everything for your company. I want you to come to me no matter what. I will broker anything because I have those contacts.
That's perfect.
When you've been in the business long enough and you've seen all these vendors all across the United States that only deal through distributors like me, you tend to build up that clientele a bit. And
that's awesome.
And I have that in my pocket. Not everybody can say that. You go down to Minuteman Printing and they'll be like, yeah, we can do X, Y, and Z. I'll start at A. I'll end at Z.
Right.
I'll do everything in between.
No, that's well said. If I may put maybe an exclamation point on top of it, because I have a couple businesses, right? And so as a business owner, time is precious, right? That's the last thing I want to do is kind of go, hey, I can get this one need from you. Now I got to call 3 other people to finish it all out.
Right.
It's one call, one service, and you're done.
My daughter, on my website, did this video, and she calls the superhero.
The superhero?
The printing superhero. And if you watch the video, it's like, I'm in there. They hand me something, from an admin standpoint, and then they go and run their business.
Okay.
Let me handle all your other stuff. You don't need to spend your time or waste your time, looking for all this stuff. I'm the guy. I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it.
You're not the guy. You're the printing superhero.
That's right.
I love it. That's great. So let's talk a little motivation. What truly gets you fired up? What burning desire, just things that set you on fire?
All right. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. I worked in carpentry. They fired me. I'm just not. I can't even walk a straight line. I fail sobriety tests all the time, and I'm never drunk. So I can't do anything in a straight line. You put me in front of a computer and give me an artistic challenge. Give me something that you want, to create.
Right.
And I will. I love it. I thrive on it. Those coasters. It was 9 o'clock at night, I think, when I finished them.
Right.
I didn't have dinner. I was just in the zone,
Right.
And so I really like to. I enjoy that because I am not creative at all. Music, I'm no good. I can't carry a tune if I had 2 buckets with me. So, when
awesome.
I'm done with some artwork and I look at it and I sit back and go, they're gonna like this, and then I hand that off to the customer. And they come back with, we love it. That really motivates me to go in deeper next time. Next time I'm going to say, oh, so look what else I can do.
Right.
I'll approach them with things that they might not have thought about.
Yeah.
That's my motivation, really.
That's cool.
That gets me going.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's great. So let's go to kind of stay in the same vein. How about a quote? You got a quote or two that you you want to bring to the table?
My favorite quote is, I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And this goes all the way back to high school. We had, if anybody's watching this from my high school, you all remember the Chatham Mafia. It was a joke. It started out on a Halloween as a joke. We weren't even, doing anything, but we ended up with literally the Chatham Mafia. And me and a buddy, we kind of shared the Vito Corleone spot. And Godfather was my favorite movie. Oh. And so I carried that into my business. And, when people come to me with pricing, it's always, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
That's awesome, man.
I don't say it with the, with the accent.
You should, man.
No,
they can be part of the printing superhero
that
gig.
People, because then they're thinking, I better not refuse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, that's a good point. Yeah, don't listen to me. So how about some goals? What do you got? Some upcoming goals? We're midway through 2019. 2020 will be here before you know it.
Well, so, I'm a small business, so I run everything myself. And I'm getting to that point where it's just so busy. There's some days where I start at 7 o'clock in the morning and I end at 9 o'clock at night. I have a home office and I have a 1-year-old.
Yep.
And, there's times during the day that I'd really love to just take a break and go spend some time with him because I can hear him in the other room,
Sure.
And my wife's been real patient with me on those days, because sometimes she needs a break.
Sure.
That's a long stretch for her too. So my goal really is to grow this business to where I can have some employees to where I can step back a little bit from handling everything,
Sure.
and I can delegate off to some of this other stuff and let them do it.
Well, yeah. Let's write those goals down and let's get it. And hopefully our Suncoast NPI family can help you get there sooner rather than later. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So we got like a minute or so to close this thing out. Let's talk about, if you don't mind, some of your role models or mentors you've had over the years.
In the printing industry, it was my boss, Bob. He kind of took me under his wing when he first hired me, and there was a point in all that I thought I was going to be without a job. I got brazen, and I had built his website, and when I got there, everything was paper, handwritten. And so I built this website, and I said to him, look, I've opened up markets that you don't have. We were only in Florida.
Right.
I opened up California. That's 3 hours. I said, listen, put me on salary and let me handle this because I'll handle all the incoming stuff from, California and Hawaii and,
right.
Things that are out of our time zone or whatever. And he kind of took that a little differently. And so I thought I was going to be without a job, but flip it around and 2 years later, I was the only employee. I was doing everything, and he was taking me on, customer runs and doing the stuff that I told him I didn't want to do.
Right.
And he saw something, I guess, and I kind of just thought, okay, let's roll with that. Well, I didn't know he was grooming me to do what I'm doing. And so when he got sick and he stepped back and I was running the company, I really got to dive into it then.
That's cool.
And I thought,
that's good stuff. That's Shawn Stevens. He was the man. We have Carolyn Carter coming up next. Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you.
NPI.
NPI, Network Professionals International.
Suncoast NPI. Hi, I'm Ben Kogenauer with Mangrove Realty. I've been in real estate for over 10 years and with my company Mangrove Realty for over 8 years. Joined NPI about 3 years ago, and it's been a terrific resource for me to help me grow my business and to grow myself as a business owner.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Dittman with Brightway Insurance, the Dittman Agency, and I do property and casualty insurance. I started with NPI in 1995.
Hello, I'm Paul Friedlander. I am the account executive with Total Title Solutions. I've been involved with NPI now for just a little over a year.
My name is Sarah Shupp, and I am a banker at Synovus in Oldsmar, Florida. I have been a member of NPI for 2 years now, and I am about to start my 3rd year with them.
Hi, I'm Robert Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm a residential realtor, and I've been with NPI, Network Professionals International, for 2 years.
Suncoast NPI motivates me every week to grow my business and impact my community. I become better as a business owner every week, every meeting. I learn something new every meeting. I get something out of every meeting.
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is the family aspect of it. I'm not just going to breakfast with people that I don't know. I'm going to breakfast with people that I know, like, and trust. And I know that when I refer one of my customers of influence, that they are going to be in good hands. And it's not going to be a write-off, no call back, no show kind of thing.
Honestly, the relationships are great, but they're second to the results that you get. In fact, just this year alone, I've gone from number 8 in the office to number 1.
NPI is unique in the sense that the first time I walked into the chapter that I belong to, there were about 20 to 25 people in that chapter. Normally a small chapter, but I knew the people in there. I knew the power of the synergy that was in that room, and what that has related to over the last year has related to over $34,000 in thank you for closed business back to me.
Or every week that I meet with the friends and family that I've gotten to know, and we pass referrals. This year alone, I've closed over $40,000 in referrals from my NPI chapter.
Hi, my name is John Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI. We're a locally owned, seat-specific, world-class, 28-year young referral networking organization with a community look and feel. As the owner, I'm not so much interested in the membership check. I'm interested in the member. We're here to make money as members, but more importantly, we're here to give back to the community to make it a better place to live, work, and play.
My dad is the owner of Suncoast NPI, and as he always says, when we pull together, we all win!
Welcome back, everybody. Again, my name is John Marshall. I own Suncoast NPI, and we are Suncoast NPI TV coming at you guys live. And what a great segment we had with Shawn Stevens earlier. And now it's like, this is just one rock star after another. That's the reason I love doing this, and I love owning NPI, because the members are amazing. You're awesome. I'm so delighted you're sitting across from me, Carolyn Carter.
Thank you, John.
You're awesome at what you do. You have a servant's heart, and you travel the world. We'll get into that later. But committed to the commitment, to make this chapters thrive. And I couldn't be more happy than that you're sitting across from me. So let's just start. I know you. The folks out here really don't. So tell me how you got to where you are today. Is that okay?
Sure, John.
Hey, let's have fun.
Yeah. So I have a degree from the University of Florida, and I needed to decide what I wanted to do next. And so I decided to start studying taxes.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm a studier at heart. And
Right.
so there's 4 million words in the tax code. So there's always more and more classes
Wow.
to take and more adventures. And since I do like to travel, I've gone to Phoenix and Baltimore and Vegas and all over to see the best teachers there are about taxes. I've paired up with great tax managers. Right. I've made a lot of friends in the business. And I was a worker bee for many years, and then I learned enough. I became an enrolled agent, and I now own my own tax and accounting business, where I really can help small businesses to plan for their future and to save taxes.
That's awesome. I'm still thinking about the 4 million words in the tax code. Oh my goodness gracious. No, that's great. Thank you for that. How about, there's a few different folks that are out there that kind of play in this world. So what really, truly differentiates you and your company within the marketplace?
Our team is always a collaboration team. We don't work on commission, so everybody works together. So you have the whole team. If you and your wife come in to have your taxes done, then we all brainstorm and we all look at every slant where we can help you with this year's taxes, but also with planning if you want to buy a house, planning if you want your kids to go to college, planning for next year so that you can meet your goals and you have your taxes paid and you're planning for Social Security. And so all of us do training. I've worked at other places where only the partners do the training. So we all train, we all collaborate, we all love people and have a passion for helping our clients.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I've heard this word now a couple times in our conversation, enrolled agent.
Uh-huh.
I always typically think of CPA, but what actually is? Tell us what is actually an enrolled agent.
Okay. An enrolled agent is a license that's given by the IRS, and it goes all the way back to 1884.
Wow.
When people had to negotiate with the government after the war and to get back the things that were used during the war, and then it's morphed into representing clients. And the difference between an enrolled agent and say a CPA is that enrolled agents are all specialized in taxes.
Wow.
Where CPAs may do audits or other kinds of accounting. And we are required to take 72 credit hours every 3 years, and we need to take 90 for the National Association of Enrolled Agents. And so the enrolled agents are called, their little logo is America's Tax Experts.
Okay. Wow.
So, and they've been around a real long time.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. So I just learned something new today here. So thank you for that. That's really cool, actually, and that's even making it more specialized and more why people should be talking to you for your taxes, right? I mean, right?
Right.
So, like, how about maybe a story? I think a story helps for me. How about a story or two on how you've actually saved some of your clients money on taxes?
All right. And that's something that when I see other people come to me, is that sometimes they've gone to people that don't spend enough time and ask enough questions. And we all know that it's horrible to make assumptions. So I had a client named Dean, and he was military. He had 3 children. He was kind of long in his life, and so he took money out of an IRA and he bought a house. And the only way you can, and he was, just in his 40s, so there's penalties for early withdrawals.
Right.
But I asked him, I said, have you owned a house in the last couple of years? Because you can take $10,000 out and not pay a 10% penalty. And so the big thing about the story is that when he said he didn't, that I had asked him. I hadn't assumed that, he looked like someone that probably always had owned a house.
Right.
So, I really earned his respect, and he's been a client a long time because I saved him a substantial amount of money.
Absolutely. That's a great story.
Yeah.
And I bet you Dean loves you. That's awesome. So you talk about different credit hours you needed to have, 72 hours over 3 years. How about some different tax organizations that you're active in?
Well, in 1972, the National Association of Enrolled Agents came into playing.
Okay.
And I am a member on the national, the state, and the chapter level. And I have played a role in that organization and in the Florida Society of Accountants. I've had leadership roles as a president or different positions. And that way I surround myself with other like-minded accountants that also are taking all these classes, and then we brainstorm.
Yep.
So this year I had a Canadian client come in, and I really wasn't used to all that Canadian withholding.
Right.
So there's other people in the group that I can go talk to about that, or somebody who moved to Pennsylvania with state taxes in Pennsylvania, that we all share expertise. I get a lot of phone calls on doing personal tax returns because that's just been my expertise since 1983.
1983.
So I have seen a lot of different laws come and go.
Sure.
And, you just really have to stay up on it. Lately, one of the things that I've seen more of, and it's changed with the houses, is this forgiveness of debt.
Okay.
And that if you had to short sell your houses, that they forgave you for the forgiveness of debt.
Okay.
But now also, if you talk your credit card companies into having them take less money than what you owe, that's considered income. If you are forgiven of debt, that you didn't have to pay that, so that's like income.
Wow.
But there's ways to fill out insolvency forms, and there's ways to get around paying taxes, and that adds up very, very quickly.
Wow.
I had someone recently that had a $30,000 forgiveness of debt, and that would have been, well over $4,000 in taxes. And I asked the right questions, and she did not have to pay taxes on that form. And the other way I see that a lot is notices, is that people get these forms and they don't even realize they're a tax form. They're not the tax expert.
Right.
So then I meet a lot of people because they get a tax notice, and I'm just very aware of how you lose sleep at night and how scary it is to be a pen pal with the IRS.
Yeah.
So I try
awesome.
to get right on that. I try to meet the people immediately and help them to know what they're going to end up owing, because that's scary. And I try to get out there and tell people, don't answer these notices by yourself.
Right.
That that's somewhere you need help. When I was younger, I would try to tell people how to do it themselves, but it just doesn't work. I have a kind of funny story about when I was younger.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was just 24 years old. So if you put those numbers together, I'll be 60 this year. But I thought it was because I was a woman that they didn't want to talk to me. They wanted to talk to the man who was a manager
Okay.
in the office. And now that I'm older, I realize I was green. I didn't know what I didn't know, because of course I couldn't know that much when I first started. So
Exactly.
that's interesting to, you know, look back at your younger self and kind of figure some of the stories out that you had in your head at that time.
That's awesome. That's a great story. And yeah, and you look great, and your hair looks great too, by the way. Just
Thank
saying.
you, John.
So, hey,
That's how it helps me talk. Because I used to also be a Toastmaster,
Yes.
a great organization that I've met a lot of people through. And NPI and Toastmasters is where, when people hear you speak about your passion, that, you know, most of the people I did Toastmasters with come to me to get tax help,
Right.
because they roasted me and they said, if you hit Carolyn over the head and it opens up, you're going to have W-2s and 1099s just coming out of my head. And that, you know, they never heard anybody that, you know, loved to talk about taxes.
that is too much.
But I do, because money's important to people. And I help
Absolutely.
people save a lot of money. I'm talking to them, I'm asking them questions, and I have a refund monitor on the screen, and they can start to see more and more either how what they owe goes down and down, or what they're getting back goes up and up as I ask them, you know, for more deductions or more things that will give them credits on their taxes.
Right.
And so that's fun to watch that refund monitor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
time flies when we're having fun. We have just a little over a minute, so
Oh, wow.
let's talk about like something that you're really proud of. You want to go there?
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, okay. I'm really proud of my team and the great
awesome.
people that work with me. My office manager has been with me for almost 20 years, and she helps a lot of the clients, and my senior accountants and everyone like that, that we just work together, a well-oiled machine.
Right.
And of course, I don't want to end my video without saying I'm proud of my 32-year-old son, Wynn, and my 30-year-old daughter, Becky.
Right.
And I'm
That's
married
awesome.
to their wonderful dad, Doug. So thank you for your time today,
That's
John.
awesome. Yeah, we got like 30 seconds. I told us we got like a minute. How
Yeah.
about we go into the metro? I know you travel.
Yeah.
Let's pass the travel. Let's just go. She loves to travel. She's heading to Hawaii, like, I don't know, tomorrow, like soon. I wish I could go with her. I couldn't convince her to let me go with her, but she travels all over the world, and she loves to share those experiences. And go to her office. It's a great office. There's awesome pictures. But let's close with like a mentor, maybe a little inspiration. Who's been a mentor for you?
He's talking about travel. So one of my mentors is my college roommate that moved to Europe, and she has traveled the world, and she's given me some of the floor plans or itineraries, and I've done some of the trips that she's done.
That's
and
awesome.
It's been wonderful. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Maui in a little over a week from today.
That's so awesome. So Carolyn Carter, it's been a delight having you.
You too, John.
And I'm so excited that you came and shared your wisdom as an enrolled agent
Thank
with
you.
us in the world. And we're Suncoast NPI. This is Carolyn Carter, and we'll see you next time.
MPI.
NPI.
With NPI.
NPI, Network Professionals International.
Suncoast NPI. Hi, I'm Ben Kogenauer with Mangrove Realty. I've been in real estate for over 10 years and with my company Mangrove Realty for over 8 years. Joined NPI about 3 years ago, and it's been a terrific resource for me to help me grow my business and to grow myself as a business owner.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Dittman with Brightway Insurance, the Dittman Agency, and I do property and casualty insurance. I started with NPI in 1995.
Hello, I'm Paul Friedlander. I am the account executive with Total Title Solutions. I've been involved with NPI now for just a little over a year.
My name is Sarah Shupp, and I am a banker at Synovus in Oldsmar, Florida. I have been a member of MPI for 2 years now, and I am about to start my 3rd year with them.
Hi, I'm Robert Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm a residential realtor, and I've been with NPI, Network Professionals International, for 2 years.
Suncoast NPI motivates me every week to grow my business and impact my community. I become better as a business owner every week, every meeting. I learn something new every meeting. I get something out of every meeting.
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is the family aspect of it. I'm not just going to breakfast with people that I don't know. I'm going to breakfast with people that I know, like, and trust. And I know that when I refer one of my customers of influence, that they are going to be in good hands. and it's not going to be a write-off, no call back, no show kind of thing.
Honestly, the relationships are great, but they're second to the results that you get. In fact, just this year alone, I've gone from number 8 in the office to number 1.
NPI is unique in the sense that the first time I walked into the chapter that I belong to, there were about 20 to 25 people in that chapter. Normally a small chapter, but I knew the people in there. I knew the power of the synergy that was in that room, and what that has related to over the last year has related to over $34,000 in thank you for closed business back to me.
Or every week that I meet with the friends and family that I've gotten to know, and we pass referrals. This year alone, I've closed over $40,000 in referrals from my NPI chapter.
Hi, my name is John Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI. We're a locally owned, seat-specific, world-class, 28-year young referral networking organization with a community look and feel. As the owner, I'm not so much interested in the membership check. I'm interested in the member. We're here to make money as members, but more importantly, we're here to give back to the community and to make it a better place to live, work, and play.
My dad is the owner of Suncoast NPI, and as he always says, when we pull together, we all win!
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Again, my name is John Marshall, and we are Suncoast NPI TV coming at you live. And dude, that was awesome with Carolyn Carter. She's an enrolled agent. She's amazing. And we have Mr. John Hoke back here today. He's back because we've got so many hits and so many questions that came back. And like this guy, John Hoke, he knows his stuff. He's like, we want some more John Hoke. And I know we covered a lot of things, John, and the request was like, hey, let's get some more information. Let's dive a little bit deeper. We hit like, you know, as an entrepreneur out there is looking for business opportunities, looking at, you know, we kind of covered, you know, what do you look for in a company? What do you look for in a pricing structure? And then it was like, I know there's more components, and people said, we want to hear more. So welcome back, John.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been fun so far.
Yeah, you're amazing. So if that person that's leaning in, they've looked at the company, they've looked at pricing, what should they really look at? What would be next?
Well, you know, if you have done your homework and you have reviewed your product and you've analyzed the company and you still continue to feel that this opportunity is still worth your time and money, then the next area to consider is compensation. How am I going to get paid?
Compensation? It's probably pretty important, right? At some point in time, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't think anybody wants to work for free, right? Do you agree?
I agree.
So here's the question, right? So compensation, right? Hey, we all want to get paid. So how do we make sure, from your experience, how do you make sure that you're getting paid what you're actually worth?
You know, that's an awesome question because so many people are underpaid.
Yeah.
And obviously, in everything that you're doing, especially if we're talking about being an entrepreneur,
sure,
you want to get paid what you're worth. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to be your own boss, to be an entrepreneur.
Agreed.
You know, but starting a business from scratch,
right?
Not only is it scary, it's just plain risky.
Right.
And most businesses fail within the first year.
That's crazy.
But John, we're really not talking about starting a business from scratch.
Okay.
The model already exists. What we're talking about starting is your own business in your off time.
Okay.
Something in addition to what you're already doing.
Right.
And that's because most people that I know, they can't quit their day job.
Right.
They've got to continue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I believe that is one of the key elements to what makes our business model work.
Okay.
It's very flexible and it's part-time. Our business model is a progressive model, meaning as you and your business grows,
okay,
so does your income.
I like it.
So there are 3 questions that I think you should ask when you're looking at this. First, can I generate income quickly?
Right.
Second, will I be able to produce a steady source of secondary income in a reasonable amount of time? And the third area is, does it have the potential to replace or exceed my current income? if those three comes together, this still might be a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, those are incredible points, and I really like the last one about even actually have the potential to exceed my current income. Then it's like it's a game changer all the way.
Sure it is.
So, I think you've heard me say I don't like being in a box. I like thinking outside the box, and so just with that, following down that path, thinking outside the box. Are there companies out there that really kind of cover what you just said?
Oh yeah. I've seen many business models that do exactly that. And there are a lot of people that I know personally that have made a lot of money in this industry, and they are very successful at what they do. So if you would like to know more about me or this business model, please go ahead and reach out. Like I said, I'll buy the first cup of coffee for you.
Or the energy drink.
Or the energy drink.
That's awesome. So that's really good. So now we've got company, we've got pricing, we've got compensation, right? So we looked at a lot of really solid, great areas. I think maybe there's probably another area to consider, right? Maybe support, right? Would you agree?
I'd agree.
How about that? Can you tell us what you think like the secret to success is there?
That's something that I've considered a lot over the years that I've been in business for myself.
Okay.
And I can trace my success back to 3 or 4 things. My mom often told me when I was growing up, I would become like the person or the people that I hang around with.
Absolutely.
And she always advised me to be careful of the friends that I chose.
Right.
I truly don't believe that there is really a secret. I believe that my success has come from the people that I choose to surround myself with, my mentors, the books that I read, and the audios that I listen to. Over the years, my mentors have poured into me the same success principles that I'm pouring into others.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
So that kind of brings us back to our last area, which is support.
Okay.
And I think support comes from a lot of different areas, but here are a few things that you might consider. Does the company have a website?
Right.
Is it friendly and navigable? Does the website offer training and support material outside what you're doing? Also, can you get a one-on-one comprehensive training and personal attention from your mentor? And then another is, are there events and business builders that I can attend?
Right.
You know, the reason most businesses fails is because the business owners are really all on their own. They don't know what they're doing half the time,
right.
and they struggle.
Gotcha.
They have no one to bounce ideas off of, and if they do, a majority of the time, that mentor knows very little about the industry or the location where you're working. You know, gotcha. I often tell people our support system is superb. You know, you may be in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. That for yourself and by yourself. That's solid, Mr. John Hoke. So those are a lot of nuggets. So if somebody's out there, and I know they are, if they're interested in having a business of their own, right? That interested in representing a well-established company that has a history of paying well and has a great support system for success, where should they turn?
You know, in these videos, we have talked about being in business for yourself or a business of your own. We have high-quality products, a long-standing 60-year-old company, substantial compensation,
right.
and great leadership, mentorship, and support. So if this is still of interest to you after looking at these videos, we are building our team. So if you'd like to see if our team is the right place for you to succeed, the first cup of coffee is on me, or that energy drink. Let's just have a conversation.
Yeah, and all the materials up there, all the contact information for John Hoke is on here, and you feel free to reach out to him. If you need a connection, you can always reach out to me, and you can visit him as well at the Suncoast NPI chapter that meets Tuesday morning at Palm Harbor. Free meal, right?
That's right, free meal.
You can get a free coffee, free energy drink, and a free meal, and meet with John Hoke there as well. That's another way. So that was awesome, John. I really appreciate it. We have a couple more minutes. So I thought maybe, if you don't mind, what's some of the things that really, like, what inspires you or just motivates you? Do you mind going down that path?
You know, as I said earlier, I've never known when I'm not wanting to be in business for myself.
Yeah.
But everything that I've done, when I look back on it, it's always to help somebody be better than what they are.
Yep.
To give them some guidance so that they can do more and be better and produce more. And that inspires me. I like to see success.
Yep.
I like to see people who want to be in business for themselves. And I'm all in when I meet someone that has that desire,
Right.
and then I can pour into them what's been poured into me with the success principles that I've got over these years.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's just one of the reasons I love you. That's just pouring in, right? So let's take that to a different level. Let's take that to yourself. What's something that you look back over the time that you're really proud of, that you'd like to share?
Well, 10 years ago, 11 years ago or so, I founded a mission program. It's called Aviation Ministry Support Association, and it's designed to help mission aviation organizations at the largest or the second largest fly-in in the world.
That's amazing.
And when I look back on all of that, that was the scariest moments in my life, because I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. This is something completely out of my comfort zone. And I believe that with the Lord leading me, it has been very successful and continues to grow and prosper.
Yeah,
so I'm very, very proud of that.
And you should be. I mean, I had the privilege of going to the dinner that kicked it off, and that room was full, and that room was full with people that had unbelievable things to offer to the world, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you brought them all together underneath one place, and I know it's not a small task, and kudos to you. And I'm glad to know you. And we just have like 30 seconds. So how about maybe a book? We talked about books and audio tapes looking at the company. What are some of the books on your nightstand that you're maybe you want to share with some others?
I have read so many books, but the best books that I've read is the one that I'm reading right now. And it always will be, the next book will be the best book that I'm reading right now. Not because of the fact that I think they're best, but my mentors have already vetted those books.
Yep.
And they're giving them to me because there's something that I'm going to be able to get out of that I'm going to be able to also give to somebody else. The book that I'm currently reading right now is How to Win Friends, Influence People.
Oh, that's a good one.
So, this is probably my third or fourth go around on it, but it's an awesome book. And then the next one that I'm also reading at the same time is The Greatest Salesman in the World through
O.J. Mendino.
By Mendino.
Yeah, that's awesome. John Hoke, he's awesome. I love you to death, sir. Great job.
Thank you very much.
NPI.
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 NPI, Network Professionals International.
Suncoast NPI. Hi, I'm Ben Kogenauer with Mangrove Realty. I've been in real estate for over 10 years and with my company Mangrove Realty for over 8 years. Joined NPI about 3 years ago, and it's been a terrific resource for me to help me grow my business and to grow myself as a business owner.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Dittman with Brightway Insurance, the Dittman Agency, and I do property and casualty insurance. I started with NPI in 1995.
Hello, I'm Paul Friedlander. I am the account executive with Total Title Solutions. I've been involved with NPI now for just a little over a year.
My name is Sarah Shupp, and I am a banker at Synovus in Oldsmar, Florida. I have been a member of NPI for 2 years now, and I am about to start my third year with them.
Hi, I'm Robert Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm a residential realtor, and I've been with NPI, Network Professionals International, for 2 years.
Suncoast NPI motivates me every week to grow my business and impact my community. I become better as a business owner every week, every meeting. I learn something new every meeting. I get something out of every meeting.
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is the family aspect of it. I'm not just going to breakfast with people that I don't know. I'm going to breakfast with people that I know, like, and trust. And I know that when I refer one of my customers of influence, that they are going to be in good hands, and it's not going to be a write-off, no call back, no show kind of thing.
Honestly, the relationships are great, but they're second to the results that you get. In fact, just this year alone, I've gone from number 8 in the office to number 1.
NPI is unique in the sense that the first time I walked into the chapter that I belong to, there were about 20 to 25 people in that chapter. Normally a small chapter, but I knew the people in there. I knew the power of the synergy that was in that room, and what that has related to over the last year has related to over $34,000 in thank you for closed business back to me.
Or every week that I meet with the friends and family that I've gotten to know, and we pass referrals. This year alone, I've closed over $40,000 in referrals from my NPI chapter.
Hi, my name is John Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI. We're a locally owned, seat-specific, world-class, 28-year young referral networking organization with a community look and feel. As the owner, I'm not so much interested in the membership check. I'm interested in the member. We're here to make money as members, but more importantly, we're here to give back to the community to make it a better place to live, work, and play.
My dad is the owner of Suncoast NPI, and as he always says, when we pull together, we all win!
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Again, John Marshall, Suncoast NPI and Suncoast NPI TV. We've had a great show with Shane Stevens and Carolyn Carter, and also with Mr. John Hoke. And I just couldn't be more delighted to close this thing out with Bobby Paolini, backed by popular demand. Ooh. Bobby Paolini back in the house.
Thanks,
Paolini
sir.
Properties, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices.
Try and do it all. I'm a dad.
You're the dad.
Husband. I wear a lot of hats. I gotta cover my bald head.
Man of Christ.
Man of Christ.
Amen to that.
Absolutely.
So with that, why don't we just go right in? This is our time and really your time. How did you get to where you're a really successful business person? You're a successful man, and I know where your humbleness comes from. That's one of the reasons I love you. But how did it just didn't happen overnight? So how did you get to where you are today, Mr. Paolini?
Well, you did say something about being a godly man, and I'd have to say the short answer to that question is I got here by the grace of God.
Amen.
And you know the story of how I got with NPI, and what it really is just like any really good story of a hero who's struggling and is just looking for a way to save his bride.
Right.
I just had a day where I just said enough is enough. It even in real estate, you have so many ups and downs, so
Right.
much inconsistency. And I lost my parents when I was young.
Yep.
And wife and 3 kids. I just said enough is enough, and I just started looking. Years and years ago, I started going to church every week. And I started reading books. I just started looking for the answer.
Right.
Seek and you shall find.
Right.
Knock and the door will be open to you. Ask and you shall receive.
Right.
Not in that order. And the blessings just started coming, and I started just becoming more and more of what I needed to be to get to where I needed to go. And then slowly but surely, you get on your bus, you start driving, and then you start loading the bus up with good people like yourself, and here we are today.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I might need a tissue because that's being real and being transparent, and that's who you are, and I think it's cool, and I think it's people out there to hear. I think it's awesome. Hopefully, there's even some form of encouragement for somebody that maybe isn't at that spot or just beginning.
That's the point.
I mean, there you go. You got to start somewhere, right? And that's awesome. So thank you for sharing that. So you're a realtor. You're a very successful realtor. There's I don't know 19 million of them in Pinellas County, give or take a couple.
Give or take a couple.
Yeah. So what really differentiates you in your company within this marketplace, Bobby?
Well, for one, that's my perspective. I think I don't see real estate sales as what it sounds like. Real estate, property. In sales, I see it as people service. I see it really all about the people, and I see it all about being service. And the direct connection to any realtor's success is their actions towards the people and the service they provide. And what gives us our financial success is that we built a process around that basically just is designed to always be focusing on people and the service. And I'm not the best with math and numbers, but we even have a formula. It's S plus C divided by ECF times DA equals BE. Right? I hope you wrote that down.
You lost me at S. So
you had me at hello. So it's basically, the S is the system. We create a system, a process for listing homes, getting it done in the perfect amount of time and getting the client the absolute most money. But then systems in and of themselves won't operate without the right culture, right? Because it takes more than just one person to do great things like that. So a lot of time and energy is front loaded into the staff and the agents on our team. And that culture of just loving people and making a difference first before we try to make a living is part of the success that keeps that going. The ECF is the division into that is extreme client focus, right? I don't even remember a lot of the addresses, but I only remember their names, the clients' names. And our goal every day when we even get the day started is, who can we serve? Who do we need to serve? Who should we serve? And how can we help? What can we do for you? How may we serve you? I think that's huge. The key to ongoing success with that, though, is the times the DA, and that's daily action, right? It's repeating that process over. I think last week we talked about showing up to work.
Amen.
If I'm not sitting here doing the shoot, I'm at work at about 8:15, 8:30 at the latest, every single morning, Monday through Friday. The team understands the same process. They appreciate it, and they love it. And and leading from the front as I do, it's a great way for them to grow as well. And then of course the BE is really, that's just the end of the equation. Doesn't really answer your question, but for giggles, it stands for business excellence. So if you're trying to find a formula of business excellence and thriving growth, that's what you're going to want to do. Create a system, develop a really good culture for people, focus on the client, and do it every day. And you can do anything you want in any industry.
That's right. And that all ends up with a B, business excellence. That's awesome. That is very well said, man. So I don't know if you want to go personal or professional, but what's something that you truly are really proud of, Bobby?
I'll do a little both. Proud of is my children. I pour into them just as much as I pour into you. In fact, way more.
I would hope so.
So being that they're 12, 10, and 8 years old, hopefully all three of them will change the world in their own way. But on a professional note, it would be my team. Right? I mean, being a dad, and of course I'm talking about my kids first, who I teach, and of course the team, who I lead and teach. It's really all the same thing. It's what I love to do. It's leading by example. It's becoming what you want, what they believe they should be, and leading by example. But the attitudes they all have, they really, for the proverbial, drank the Kool-Aid. Bobby's Kool-Aid of loving people, serving, like the go-giver, adding value. The greatest thing we can offer others is ourselves, making a difference. I mean, half of them would work for free if they didn't have bills themselves, and that's what I'm most proud of.
That's incredible. Yeah, and I've had the privilege of meeting your children, and they are awesome, and you can tell where it comes from with you and your beautiful wife. So,
thank you.
Kudos to you guys.
Thank you, sir.
So you mentioned Go-Giver.
Yes.
So how about, is there a book that resonates with you lately that stands out?
Yes, The Go-Giver is going to be my all-time favorite, but last week we talked about it. It's The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. And from what I've heard, it's the most widely distributed book, second to the Bible.
It is.
Which is pretty impressive.
That's a pretty solid number.
And it's an amazing book. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's given me so much wisdom and just confidence too. And we even talked about last week the the mushroom and the mighty oak.
Yep.
That's in the book. I mean, I can't get through a chapter without almost having a tear in my eyes.
Yeah.
So the purpose-driven life.
Yeah, it's a great read. If nobody's out there who hasn't read it, you need to do it. I don't care faith-based or not. It's just open up the book and start. So we have about three minutes or so, Bobby. So if you want to dovetail or move around, you let me know. But I was thinking about partnering. You know, you do a lot of different partnerships, but what do you really consider? Like if you're partnering with a person, a team member, or a company, and what factors are really a deal breaker for you?
Well, like you always say, legal, honest, moral, ethical. You got to have the difference between me, good and great to me is good is doing things for the good. Great is just the way you do them. So whether it be when we look for NPI members in our group, it's the same thing. Whether I'm looking for new agents to join the team or assistants, administrators, anybody, they have to pass that culture test first. It's who they are. And there's an acronym in the book, Purpose-Driven Life. Rick Warren calls it your shape. So I always look at people's shape. So hopefully I can get this. The S is it's their spiritual awareness, like the way you think. You know, you don't have to go around, kneeling every 10 seconds, but it's just your perspective and where your core values come from, where your source of decision making comes from. The H in shape is your habits. What are you doing every day? Are you surviving on your impulses, or are you developing some habits that lead you to a goal? And how often are you doing that? And if you don't do it every day, it's probably not a habit. And then the A is your ability, right? What can you do? And if you can't get there yet, what do you need to do and become to have that ability? You know, your capacity, your abilities, those things, whether you feel you're ready or not, can always be perfected, and that could be a daily process, and it could be nothing more than just from reading. The P would be your personality, right? That's what you're inherently born with. It can be kind of fine-tuned with the thoughts that you keep in your head, and that's in the book, Good Talk, Great Sales. But your personality is huge. You got to have an optimistic, positive attitude when you're serving people. I mean, really, it's in anything you do. If you want peace and happiness, that's kind of how you have to do it. And then the E of shape is their experiences. What are their experiences? What have they done, and what have they survived and been through that would dictate kind of the way they would react in future things, or with customers. I believe you talked about it when you first started the show last week, John Maxwell, talking about collection of mistakes. Right. So I used to think anything you did, you had to do it perfect, and failure was not an option, even if it's step one. And I couldn't have been more wrong. In fact, you can't really succeed at a high level unless you fail. You have to welcome it. It's the building blocks to becoming better. Nothing, unfortunately, that a human can do really gets started with any sort of enthusiasm or energy without some sort of heartbreak, some sort of pain, some sort of slingshot effect. Like the harder you bounce a ball on the ground, the higher it is going to shoot into the sky. And that's absolutely great in evaluating the effectiveness of the person.
That's awesome. I could sit here all day with you, Bobby, and I know these people can as well, but you crushed it. This is Suncoast NPI. This is Bobby Paolini. We just had an unbelievable show. And the bottom line is, when we pull together,
we all win.
Thanks, brother.